this is my short little video on how I ended up with my fish. And how my fish ended up with baby fish. Because when I first saw them, I literally thought that they were just mosquito larvae. But it turns out that they've spawned and I had no idea. And I'm making this video because when it happened I was really confused. And I wanted to share my experience so that if it happens for you, you know what to do. You can learn from my experience. Okay, so this is my fish pond. I literally dug this out mostly all by myself with a couple of friends about 4 months ago. And it took me a little while to establish the ecological balance. I had to get quite a little bit of aquatic plants going on, you know, because they're good. They help absorb some of the toxins and they release oxygen. So, and it really, like, if you're struggling with a pond, get some aquatic water plants. They will change everything. Now, I had a few casualties as well when I first started out because I had not a great idea of what I was doing, obviously. Newbie. So, I did have a few casualties, but this is my set. At the moment, I've got 2 fantails, the big one and the smaller one, and I've got 3 comets and 1 shabunkin. You can't really see him because it's the reflection of the water there. Excuse the plane, that thing has been flying over all morning and it's been a pain. And this is my set that I've got. These are the ones that have established themselves and have survived. So, now, you want to change your water every so often because if you want your fish to spawn, that's one of the ways you get them to do it. Now, I was having troubles with the lining, okay, the lining of my pond, like around the corner there, which is why I had to keep changing the water because I had to obviously keep topping it up. Now, this is the bit that got me confused. They started their spawning habits. Now, when they spawn, they're going to chase the females around and they're going to try and beat the shit out of the females. Literally, it looks like spousal abuse. And I sort of panicked. I sort of tried to separate the females. I was like, oh no, don't beat them up, don't beat them up. They haven't got eggs. Why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. It turns out when the females have eggs that they want to release, they will release a hormone, which triggers the males to chase them, beat them up, release the eggs, because that's the process of, you know, rub up against the females, they'll drop the eggs, and basically they spray their little substance and they fertilize the eggs. Now, when this happened, I basically got really confused. I didn't understand what was happening. It turns out the females brought it on. So, yeah. Now, blah, blah, blah. Where am I? You'll notice around the side here I've got a little canal thing going on. I wanted an island. I don't know why. I sort of had this idea and it didn't work out. And so I got this little canal thing going on. And this is where I've been finding all the babies. Now, as you can see, I've got a really well-established different lot of rocks going on. I've got pebbles, I've got big rocks, I've got riverstone, I've got all kinds of stuff in there. And it really helps them just nestle in, get comfortable, find somewhere to be safe, somewhere to be protected. And this environment right here that I'm showing you, where it's like literally maybe 4 inches of water tops, this is perfect. Now you want to keep the temperature regulated because a big drop or a big raise in temperature will freak them right out. But you want to separate the babies from the adults because the adults will mistake them for being mosquito larvae. So, this is what I did. I fashioned a little net thingy here out of a wire and some like mesh. Just, it's pretty fine, but I had a little bit of trouble because like I say, they're that tiny that a couple of them escaped through the sides and I had trouble catching the really small ones. They're that tiny. Okay, so I used my little container here, which I got the pond water in because you want to keep the water the same. You want to keep it regular. You want to keep all the chemical balance the same. And I basically caught them with my net, popped them in there, and then I popped them in my little bucket here that I had prepped with water from the pond, bucket with stones, and I put a little bit of oxygen weed and stuff in there. Now, when you put them in, you don't really have to worry too much about food or oxygen because they will have plenty of that. They're that tiny that it won't matter. What you do need to make sure of is don't let them be in the sun and keep the temperature regulated, because if, like I said, high drop or high raise in temperature too quickly, that'll freak them right out. Then they won't survive. So that's basically my little experience that I had. I hope you have a better one, because I sort of freaked right out. Yeah, and they're doing really rather well at the moment. Ooh.